It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time to meet Team 325. Stephen Brooks covers Michigan State football and basketball for 24/7 Sports, Spartan Tailgate Premium site. He was my travel companion yesterday at Little Caesars Arena, including a stop at Slow's Barbecue.
Oh, yeah. No, I can't make it out of Detroit without going there. The odds are in my favor. Yeah, I'm going to stop there most times.
Very successful day, except we did not find Darian's place.
We were close to that. Yeah, we could have threw something out the window and probably hit it. Hit the right breeze, would have landed on his porch maybe.
We expected more signage this way to Darian's. Didn't happen. Want to welcome Darian Harris. He is 5-year MSU linebacker, co-captain of the 2015 Big Ten champions, aspiring broadcaster. He's a Big B Coffee brand ambassador and his football coach at Walled Lake Western after year one. Good to see you yesterday as a fan, right?
Yeah, it's always good to be a fan, especially in a basketball setting. You know, that's my domain where I feel the most in-house. But it was a great environment. I think you mentioned before the show, it was the biggest crowd in Little Caesars history besides the opener for the Red Wings. That's pretty impressive, I think, but also kind of disheartening, I guess, if you're a Pistons fan.
Yeah, what does that say? It says a lot of things, I guess. So, and thank you for pouring just the right amount of water on that Chase Young staying at Ohio State story.
Yeah. We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah. Also want to welcome Matt Charbonneau, and he covers Michigan State football and basketball for the Detroit News, collector of many frequent flyer miles in 2019.
Couple, yeah.
Yeah, a few more to go.
Places. Yeah, we got a few more to go before the calendar year ends. Michigan State at Northwestern. This will be the quick, easy trip on Wednesday, but after...
Do you fly to Chicago for that?
Often, yeah, because you get good rates nowadays. Yeah. It's better than sitting behind the wheel for 4 hours, so we will. It won't be quite like going to Maui, but we'll manage. I think we'll do all right.
Just got my ticket for the Pinstripe Bowl this afternoon, $387.
That's a little high for New York, but
yeah,
reasonable.
What? I wanted to.
Will it entice fans to go? That's the question.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
There'll be any representation?
There'll be a little bit. I mean, I don't think they're going to be filling the place up or anything.
And not what there would have been if Michigan State had played at Ford Field.
That's what everybody says, but I don't know. I mean, I guess some people would go a few more, but yeah.
If they promised they were going to introduce the coaching staff and the quarterback for next year,
that
would have been big, right? A lot of people would have showed up to see that. We have lots to talk about tonight, football and basketball, our Going Green segment. We're going to talk about the Michigan State win over Oakland and where the Spartans are headed, hitting the road for a trip to play the Northwestern Wildcats. We'll be right back on Press Pass.
For the best prices and most knowledgeable staff, shop at H2O Hydroponics.
Dry ice pellets, 50 cents per pound.
Beverage grade CO2, priced right for you.
And we have 24 and 100-pound butane tanks in stock.
Remember, if you're going to grow, go H2O.
At Gunnison Meadows Senior Assisted Living Facility, we believe a supportive and nurturing community is the most important thing we offer our residents. Our commitment is to deliver superior, person-centered support. We evaluate each resident to determine the level of support needed and create a specialized care plan for each individual.
Our mission here is to provide our residents with a loving, caring, safe environment.
Give a gift of the good life from Dusty's Cellar. Redeem Dusty's gift cards for retail purchases in the cellar, for casual fine dining in the wine bar, or for the local pub atmosphere of the tap room. Dusty's gift cards, available online at dustycellar.com.
I'm gonna put a weapon on you. Bring it, little dude.
Stop your kids from fighting after you pass away with a will or trust that spells out your wishes. We protect you, your family, and your wallet. Call Crenshaw Peterson today for a free consultation.
For the best prices and the largest inventory, shop at H2O Hydroponics.
Complete commercial and recreational lighting systems.
Single and mini split air conditioners in stock.
For the best selection of growing media and nutrients, see us today.
Remember, if you're going to grow, go H2O.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
It's the Graf Christmas clearance, and the savings couldn't be better.
And we want to put a new Chevrolet in everyone's driveway.
And we'll give you a minimum of $3,000 for your trade.
Let's give them a shiny new one, Santa Chris.
Okay, look out below!
Drive a 2020 Equinox for just $159 a month, or a 2020 Silverado Custom Crew Cab for only $250 a month.
There's never been a better time to save than during the Graf Christmas clearance.
Going on now at a Graf dealership near you.
Merry Christmas!
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet and Graf Nissan at West Grand River and Okemos. With 105 years in the automobile business, they'll take great care of you, as they have on all 7 of my leases and purchases. Go green, go Graf.
I'm not trying to beat Tom. Oakland tries to beat Michigan State, yes. I'm not trying to beat Tom. I have nothing to do with the game. Tom coaches that team, I coach Oakland's team. We play each other. We try and beat each other.
I've never in my entire time knowing Cassius Winston seen him miss that many open threes that he was just short on. But what I loved about Cassius today, he was a little better defensively, and I loved the fact in huddles and that he just accepted it and was fired up for other guys like Aaron Henry making assists.
It went really well for us. We played really well defensively. Had a hard time knocking down shots, but that's why we play good defense, so we can, if we have slumps like that, we're still fine. And we had a great all-around game as a team.
My mindset just to try to play my role, do my job, going in there, run the lane, run the middle hard, take the ball if you can take the ball out and get rebounds, And then especially just doing those things helps out someone like Cash, someone like X, makes their job easier. You can just do your job, go into the glass, offensive, defensively, run your lane, you get 4 points, offensive rebounds, you get a basket, run the lane, you're at 6 points, you did nothing. And then other times you get the ball, that's easy 10 points, and you're right there in game.
I feel like two teams competed, it's a game with some history to it, and in Detroit, it's a homecoming for Cash and for Rocket, and it's just good. We got to win for them. But, we got to do a lot of things. We got to turn the ball over less, got to hit shots. It's just things like this we can grow from.
That's Greg Campy, Tom Izzo, Xavier Tillman, Thomas Kithier, and Aaron Henry after Michigan State's 72-49 win over the Golden Grizzlies yesterday at Little Caesars Arena. Darian, from where you were sitting, there were a lot of missed jump shots, especially from distance. Kind of a strange game. No one on either team scored more than 10 points.
Yeah, it was a strange game, and missed shots is my disdain for college basketball, but we won't go into that right now. It was a weird game. It was Michigan State struggles in Little Caesars Arena. They did really well in the Palace, but can't seem to buy a bucket in Little Caesar. They did rebound well. I rebounded Oakland 54-31, but 7 for 33 from downtown. That's a little bit above 20%. You got to be better than that. The thing I would say that they do well is they move the ball extremely well. Yeah. The shots were open. They weren't bad shots. Yeah. They just weren't falling. So they moved the ball extremely well. They had 21 assists. You knock down a few more of those, you get up into 30 assists. And the 30 assist range in college is rare, but you got to knock down the shots.
Who impressed you individually for the Spartans?
I was really impressed with Thomas Kithier and how he played. I thought he battled well underneath. I thought he was always where he was supposed to be. He's got really soft hands underneath as well. So when Cassius is wheeling and dealing and finds him with a no-look pass, he's always ready and then goes up strong to finish. So I thought he had a really good game.
When your career shooting percentage is over 72%,
that's not bad.
Things right. Matt, where is this Michigan State team? 7-3 after 10 games, and we should note that you have to go all the way back to 1988 and Danny Manning and the Miracles to find the last time an NCAA champion was worse than 8-2 after its first 10 games.
So what are you trying to say? It's the rest of the season?
I'm saying that another milestone here, right? Well, Tom Izzo can have the longest time between championships, and they can have the slowest start and still be.
He could, and the silver lining to this is as we look around, not just the Big Ten, but college basketball. There's no great team really. I feel like we've talked about this a lot. The top 12, 15 teams or so. You feel like they're all kind of in that. They're really good. They can be very good, but none of them are great. They've all got something they're still trying to figure out. With Michigan State, we've referenced the shooting. It's not just LCA where they're struggling to shoot the three. This has been a thing all season. But you did mention, too, they're getting the looks they want, and they have confidence they're going to start going down, but really, who's going to be that guy? I mean, we don't have anybody outside of Cassius who's really proven to be that guy consistently. There's guys they think can be.
Yeah.
Can it be Gabe Brown? Possibly. Aaron Henry shot okay, but that's not really his game. Who's going to be that guy? Malik Hall did it one game. So there's some uncertainty here with this team. Who's going to be that guy to start knocking down the shots? Because if they don't, this becomes a much easier team to guard than, say, last year when you had Matt McQuaid and Kenny Goins hitting those shots.
At Northwestern, then home for Eastern Michigan, Western Michigan, and then starting January 2nd at home against Illinois. Sunday the 5th, Michigan coming to Breslin. When did the Spartans lose again?
That's a good question. I mean, this is a big stretch for them, obviously. They might not lose again until they hit the road. Now, I know Michigan's in there. Illinois is a team that has given them trouble, and I think Illinois is a team a little bit kind of up and down this year, but I think they're going to be in the top half of the Big Ten. So none of these games are easy. But I think if you're Michigan State and you get through those first 3 home Big Ten games without a loss, you're in really good shape, because right now, looks like they might be the only team with a loss so far at this point in the conference. Without a loss, sorry.
Stephen, how do you assess the imperfect 10, the start of this season?
Yeah, I go back to what Tom Izzo was saying at Madison Square Garden after the Kentucky game. You probably remember this, Matt. He said, they're going to get a lot better, but I bet we get a lot better just over the course of the season. You're seeing that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unfinished pieces that people maybe assumed were going to be further along at this point. The rotation really needs to get hashed out. There's a lot that this team is still trying to figure out as they grow forward.
A work in progress. This Michigan State team will get better. We'll be right back. The big picture up next, talking more college basketball.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailway's motor coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Woody's Oasis, your healthy alternative to fast food. Woody's has the best Mediterranean food in town. Stop and see Chuck and Delita. They'll make you feel like family. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff is always willing to help.
Hi, how are you doing today? Do you want to do the homemade bread with it, or did you want to do the thin bread as the side?
They'll be sure to put a smile on your face. And as lifelong supporters of MSU athletics, you never know who might stop by. Eat Woody's and live longer.
Coulda, shoulda, Woody's.
Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, right next to campus.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first, I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoyed giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
From like a truce machine.
Weekdays starting at 4 on Fox 47.
You don't just become great. You gotta work at it. Hone your craft. Put in the time. See what works and what doesn't. That's how you get better. Better like Jets, Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch that can't be matched. Now, get a large specialty pizza of your choice for just $13.99. We dare ya. Jets. Better because it has to be.
The holidays are upon us, and the perfect gift for the woodworker on your list, a gift certificate from Johnson's Workbench. Johnson's Workbench is every woodworker's toyland, so give them the only gift they need this holiday season. Johnson's Workbench, everything for the woodworker.
Happy holidays from Stadium Auto Connection, where you can find cars, SUVs, vans, and trucks $3,000 or under, with new units arriving daily.
Stop in for a hassle-free car buying experience today. Happy holidays, baby!
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Trailways. With trips for every season, Dean takes care of the details so you can enjoy the experience, including daily casino runs and great getaways to northern Michigan and Chicago, where Doug Warren and I were for the NFL Legends Classic. That's Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Pritchard doesn't want the screen. He wants it on Simpson. Payton, Pritchard, lost it on the way up. Loose ball, Oregon gets it. Mathis, and it is hail to the Ducks. A Mathis got this winner, and now the question, does it count?
Well, it's still in his hand.
Ball on the fingertip for Mathis.
No goal. Straight man-to-man right now. Look at
Simpson
this.
coming back to get it. Pritchard right there with him on the catch in the backcourt. Simpson against Pritchard as he brings it across. Simpson attacks. Simpson with the floater. Tap out. A second tap out. And now it is hail to the victorious Oregon Ducks in overtime.
71-70 win in bonus time for the Oregon Ducks in Chrysler Center. A pretty amazing game when you think about it. Michigan was way down and had to battle its way back. Matt, I have no idea what to do with Michigan in my AP poll. They're the winner of the Battle for Atlantis. They beat Gonzaga by 18 points. And then they lose 3 of their next 4, including twice as a favorite and the last one in Chrysler. What do I do?
Throw them all in a big old, mixer and pull them out. That's going to be
ping pong balls or something.
That's going to be basketball this year. That doesn't make Michigan a bad team, I don't think. You still beat Gonzaga. You still rolled over Carolina, although Carolina lost again today. So you wonder about them. I just think there's so many of these teams that are so close. There's going to be stretches like this. How do they respond from that? I still think there's a lot of things to like about Michigan.
Yeah.
That's not exactly the shot you probably wanted at the end of that game.
Yeah.
But they're like everybody else. You're gonna think you got them figured out. Man, they're the best team. And next week they're going to lose twice, and you're going to wonder. That's just the way it is this year. And again, it doesn't make them bad.
Should Michigan be concerned? Should Juwan Howard be a little apprehensive? 3 L's in 4 games.
I don't think so.
No.
No, I don't think you have to be concerned necessarily. I do think that you look at your lineups, you look at how you handled the second half, you look at maybe you sat Wagner a little bit too long, you look at some of those types of things, but that's all self-scout. That's self-assessment. Like Matt said, that's college basketball. Everybody's going to have these lapses in the beginning. There's no dominant team, again, like we said this year, so I don't see anybody just completely rolling through the regular season to the tournament. You're going to have these issues, but I think it ultimately makes everybody better at the end of the day.
Stephen, let's take a look at last week's Associated Press Top 25. And getting ready to vote tonight, I was all set to elevate Ohio State to number 1 and have them be tops in football and basketball. Then they lay an egg at Minnesota, Williams Arena. Who's the number 1 team in the country?
I guess you go with Kansas.
Even after 28 turnovers against Duke, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was a long time ago, though.
Yeah, it was.
I like what they've got going on. I still like Ohio State a lot, but I mean, tonight you can't do that after what they did in Minnesota. So I guess I'll go with Kansas. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ohio State up there at some point, though, along with 3 or 4 more other teams. I mean, you guys talk about that's how college basketball is this year. That zooming in specifically on the Big Ten, I think that's going to be a dogfight every single night, just about with the teams here in this league. I think there's going to be a lot of parity this year.
Darian, we've had 13 conference games for the Big Ten. 13 wins by the home team. After 2 more today, Michigan State has a chance to be the only road team to get a win when it does travel to Northwestern. Otherwise, we have a 14-way tie for first place. Never anything like that before. As you look at what we've seen so far, how would you project the standings to look like in March? Just give me teams 1, 2, and 3.
I think Ohio State, Michigan. I think that'd probably be the 3. Definitely can't count out Maryland either. I know that is the hometown school, and we are a basketball state, I got to say. I think they could slide in there somehow, but I would see those 3 teams as the ones that make the most strides to the end, and I could just see Maryland coming up with a mistake in some kind of way. But again, I love Maryland as a basketball state. Wouldn't be surprised if they're in there too.
I have a dinner bet with Graham Couch. He has Illinois finishing 2nd. I said they won't be in the top 3. We'll be right back with more coming up on Press Pass.
Hike! Get in the savings zone at Capital Honda with game-winning offers on the new 2019 Honda Civic LX, $189 a month, or new 2019 Honda CR-V EX all-wheel drive, $269 a month. You should be driving a Honda from Capital Honda.
Life doesn't happen by the book, even when you're in high school. Our brand new Eastern Flex program builds your academic schedule around your life. Eastern Flex provides late afternoon and evening courses, online learning, and small class sizes for the student who's ready for a different path forward. Open to any student in the mid-Michigan area.
I'm not a morning person, but I can still do school.
Flex has given me the opportunity to earn my fashion design certificate.
Flex is preparing me to do software development. Hey, check out Flex.
Lansing Eastern Flex. You do you.
At Young Brothers and Daily, our showroom is designed to provide you with many options to create a fabulous living space, celebrating over 125 years of holiday seasons on the Ave. Young Brothers and Daily.
Fox Finders, Wanted Fugitives, Fridays on Fox 47 News.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
It's the Graf Christmas clearance, and the savings couldn't be better.
And we want to put a new Chevrolet in everyone's driveway.
And we'll give you a minimum of $3,000 for your trade.
Let's give them a shiny new one, Santa Chris.
Okay, look out below.
Drive a new Blazer for just $199 per month, or get into a 2020 Trax for only $78 a month.
There's never been a better time to save than during the Graf Christmas clearance.
Going on now at a Graf dealership near you.
Merry Christmas!
The Student Bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
Maker on the pick. And Rose too good a look.
Rose with Derrick Rose and Andre Drummond.
And Rose behind his back to Derrick Rose up against Lonzo Ball trying to get there. He got there with the left hand, gets the roll. Derrick Rose against Drew Holiday, and he's got a little mid-range. That's it. It's over. Detroit Pistons win it and got what they wanted at the end of the game.
Welcome back to Press Pass and Hoops and Horsepower, otherwise known as our obligatory NBA segment every time we have Darian on the show. It's all part of the contract we signed to get his services here for this. Stephen, the Pistons 11-15, 5-2 in the last 7 games after a 6-13 start. Where would they be without Derrick Rose? Got him off the scrap heap, and he looks a lot like the guy who was a #1 overall pick and an NBA MVP.
Yeah, they'd go from boring to completely uninteresting and irrelevant. He's the only thing that's sort of keeping them afloat, right? And he's the only reason to click on the game, I guess, for a couple minutes right now. Without him, although I guess on the other hand, without him, they might be totally in the tank. It might be in play for a 1 pick or 2 pick maybe, something super high in the draft, and then they could just sort of wash everybody out and get this thing going from the ground up in earnest, get a real piece to build around and move forward from there instead of just being stuck in purgatory. So maybe it'd be a good thing, but for at least in the short term, it would be completely unwatchable.
Darian, it's hard to imagine how good Derrick Rose might have been had he never been hurt, because at that point, he was the best player in basketball.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, youngest MVP ever. I think we're talking about somebody that could have gone down as a top 10 player of all time. But it's definitely exciting to see what he's been doing now. I've been to a couple Pistons games already this year. He gets the biggest ovation out of anybody when he's announced, when he checks in, all of that. So at least the fans appreciate what they have in Derrick Rose.
And the Pistons and Lakers, the 2 NBA teams that have 2 #1 overall picks, the Pistons with Rose and Blake Griffin, and of course the Lakers with LeBron and AD. Matt, when you look at the Eastern Conference, can the Pistons make the top 8? Can they make the playoffs? And if they do that again, can they win a game?
Well, I mean, obviously they can. Look, I mean, their whole game out.
Yeah.
And we've played, a quarter of the season.
And that's with the injuries, too. That's without Blake for a long time.
I think obviously they can make it. I think most people think they probably should make it, right? But that's the question, too. If you're not going to get above like 7th or 8th, I mean, look who you're probably playing. I mean, you're going to play Milwaukee again. I mean,
That didn't work out
Yeah,
so well.
the prospects of not getting swept, I mean, that's kind of where they're at right now. That's, as we mentioned, that's the spot they are, just get in the playoffs. That's about the ceiling for this team right now. And yeah, so it doesn't look great for not getting swept. To maybe win a game, depending on how it shakes out. But yeah, but Darian tells me they apparently play defense in the NBA now. There's effort, so I might click in between Minnesota and.
Have you
Ohio
been watching
State,
more NBA than Stephen Brooks has been watching Major League Baseball? That's the question.
If he's been watching none, then maybe a little bit more.
Anything greater than 0, and you win.
All right, Darian. What about your beloved Lakers? Win tonight, and that ties them for the best record in pro basketball. Are they all you hoped they would be?
Yeah, they are right now, which is a good and bad thing for me. Just because I don't want them to tire out before the end of the season. Now, I go into the year and I hear what everybody says and load management this and, Kawhi sits out. He's sitting out again today or yesterday for rest. Right. And then I get all excited because my guy, LeBron, he doesn't do that. He's like, if I'm healthy, I'm playing. But he's also about to turn 35 in a couple weeks, and I want him to be there at the end. So, it's always cool when it's not about your guy. Like, I can bash Kawhi all I want for not playing, but he's going to be healthy come the playoffs, and he might roll like he did last year, whereas our guys may be tired. But so far, it's been a joy to watch them. Haven't missed too many games. It's fun. That's sports, kind of like we were talking about. Sports is, your team's always going to be up and down. They're going to be good, bad. That's the joy of it.
Do the Lakers have enough to get past the Staples Center sharing Clippers and the mighty Milwaukee Bucks?
I think they have enough. Again, it depends on health at the end of the season. You hope that they don't tire out by then because they're really playing hard right now. I think they're really taking this regular season serious, which is crazy to say, kind of gives the NBA a bad rap. Yeah, they're taking playing serious. But I think that at the end of the day, these other teams, they got younger guys. Giannis is young. Kawhi and PG are young. AD's young, but LeBron's getting up there in age, so they got to be ready to roll.
Matt, if you want to sound like an NBA expert, all you have to do is tell people the real MVP in the league so far is Luka Doncic.
What Jack said. When did load management become a thing, by the way?
Didn't that happen for sports writers? Yeah. We got some load
management. Didn't that start with LeBron? I think I need a couple
days. No, actually, it kind of started with Greg Popovich.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That's a nice way of saying you're getting
he lost his guy, but it worked out well.
Right?
But he did get 5 rings out of it. So
Exactly. All right, time to talk some football, and we'll check in on Michigan State and the University of Michigan. And we're going to take a look at the Heisman ceremony last night in New York City. No big surprise, the most lopsided finish in history with LSU's Joe Burrow, your winner for 2019. We'll be right back.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Woody's Oasis, your healthy alternative to fast food. Woody's has the best Mediterranean food in town. Stop and see Chuck and Delita. They'll make you feel like family. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff is always willing to help.
Hi, how are you doing today? Do you want to do the homemade bread with it, or did you want to do the thin bread as a side?
They'll be sure to put a smile on your face. And as lifelong supporters of MSU athletics, you never know who might stop by. Eat Woody's and live longer.
Coulda, shoulda, Woody's.
Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, right next to campus.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted, just whistle.
Touchdown, Champions.
Watch Fox Finders Missing Persons Mondays on Fox 47 News.
Day, it's easy to give everyone fresh gifts with Kroger's delivery and free pickup. Kroger wishes everyone the freshest holiday season.
This season, feel the warmth and cheer in our town. Make it a tradition. Shop Holt for the holidays.
Hi, I'm Pat. And I'm Patrick from the Holt & Diamondale Insurance Agency, your hometown team.
From our family to yours, have a happy and safe holiday season.
Winter weather is here. Choose Holt Auto Alignment for all of your steering, suspension, and brake needs. We've been safely getting vehicles back on the road for nearly 70 years.
This season, feel the warmth and cheer in our town. Make it a tradition. Shop Holt for the holidays.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holt and South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most.
This award is like really for my mom, for me. I actually did it. And I didn't do it by myself, with the help of my teammates, and got a chance to thank them as well. But, this is like one of those awards. This is like when you say your family and your mom put so much time into you. For me, that's what it means to me giving something back to her. It's the ultimate. Anytime that you pick to be the ultimate or one of the great players of college football.
Lorenzo White going into the College Football Hall of Fame Tuesday in New York. He is the 10th Spartan player to be inducted, and I guess when you carry the ball 56 times for 292 yards in the championship game, you're pretty worthy of that. Talking about this Michigan State team and where it is right now, Darian, the 6-6 Spartans are now 5-point favorites over the 8-8 Demon Deacons of Wake Forest, a team that finished third in a conference that has 10 bowl teams. I guess I don't understand why Michigan State is a 5-point favorite. What am I missing?
Maybe, playing in the cold and being used to that. Maybe a ACC that wasn't as strong as the Big Ten, and maybe they're looking at strength of schedule. Obviously, even though the schedule wasn't necessarily kind to Michigan State, maybe just strength of who they played against. Other than that, I'm with you. I'm not exactly sure what Vegas is seeing, but they always kind of seem to know best. So maybe we just kind of take their word for it and go from there.
Maybe there's some more brand recognition with Michigan State than we think. Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. And people at Wake Forest, they think, where's Tim Duncan? Where's Chris Paul? Yeah. That's what they associate with Wake Forest, a team that's won 3 straight bowl games, by the way. Matt, taking a look at the Big Ten and the 9 teams that are in conference play, which ones come away with wins? And is the University of Michigan facing Alabama more likely to stun an angry Crimson Tide or to lose by 20 or more?
See, more likely to stun. That kind of makes me chuckle. I think back to Michigan State, Alabama, and the Capital One Bowl after the 2010 season. Yeah. We were there for about 5-6 days of guys asking Alabama players if they really wanted to be there. Yeah. And I'm certain by the end of that week they were like, well, we're going to show you how much we want to be here. And I think most people remember how that one went.
Saban has already whipped into a frenzy.
I feel like we're going to see a lot of that. Now, we're going to see how many Alabama guys play or don't play. Right. But no, I wouldn't think Michigan suddenly stuns an Alabama team that is used to being in the playoff. As far as
7.5 point spread in that game.
Yeah, I'll take Alabama all day with that 7.5. Come on. Yeah.
So you have Michigan losing. Who else do you have winning? Who do you have winning?
Well, I like Iowa in that matchup. Okay. Indiana, to me, I just think they got a lot of momentum right now. Okay. Haven't been that impressed with Tennessee. I like Penn State. Wisconsin, to me, I think has the defense that can slow down Oregon. And, of course, the big one is Ohio State. Clemson. I think Ohio State can win that game. I know Clemson, I think Dabo's likes to run the whole, chip on their shoulder thing right now. It's pretty manufactured. But, man, Ohio State looks pretty good right now. And I'm taking them in a close game in that one. Those are the winners I got out of the Big Ten.
The Big Ten team that's the biggest favorite is Penn State against Memphis, and the biggest underdog is Illinois versus Cal. You didn't mention Michigan State and Wake Forest.
Well, you asked me who's going to win, Jack, and so I did not have Michigan State on that list. We'll see. If they could suddenly start scoring points, then maybe. That's more of a toss-up for me right now.
Yeah. Why is it that the people who are closest to the program, see it every day, are the least optimistic about a Michigan State win?
We've seen how the sausage is made, and we've seen every single play and every single struggle from start to finish, I should say. So yeah, we've seen it up close. We've seen the ugly. We've touched it, felt it, smelt it, and all that. I don't think all these other folks in Vegas and wherever else have seen it up close like that.
Let's talk about some college football comings and goings. We have National Letter of Intent early signing day coming up. Stephen, you follow that very closely. What can Michigan State do to elevate its incoming class?
Add talent. that's how it works. And they are in the mix, though. They're very active right up until Wednesday. They're trying to make some things move and everything here. There are some high-profile targets still out there. You talk about Justin Rogers, the #1 player in Michigan, a kid out of Oak Park. He's still out there and is sort of flirted with Michigan State a lot. I'd be surprised. But it is a possibility. Alante Brown, a 4-star kid out of Chicago originally.
I loved him a year ago.
Was committed to Michigan State. He's still in the mix. There's an opportunity out there for them to add more talent right up at the end and could really, honestly, maybe sort of change the vibe of the class right at the buzzer.
What's the deal with Tariq Black, the Michigan receiver? And I thought only Michigan State guys were allowed to be in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Strange stuff. We'll be right back. Tracking a trophy up next. Heisman Talk.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Whether your insurance need is for business, farm and agriculture, or protecting your home and auto, experience the benefit of a local agent who cares about you with the David Chapman Agency and Auto Owners Insurance. Visit davidchapmanagency.com.
With MSU-FCU's Visa Signature Card, receive 3% cash back on groceries, 2% cash back on gas, travel, and universities, and 1% cash back on everything else. Open your MSU-FCU Visa Signature Card today.
If your pet's missing, let us know. Petfinder at fox47news.com.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
It's the Graf Christmas clearance, and the savings couldn't be better.
And we want to put a new Chevrolet in everyone's driveway.
And we'll give you a minimum of $3,000 for your trade.
Let's give them a shiny new one, Santa Chris.
Okay, look out below!
Drive a 2020 Equinox for just $159 a month, or a 2020 Silverado Custom Crew Cab for only $250 a month.
There's never been a better time to save than during the Graf Christmas clearance.
Going on now at a Graf dealership near you.
Merry Christmas!
The Student Bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
It is my pleasure to announce the 2019 winner and 85th recipient of the Heisman Memorial Trophy is Joe Burrow, Louisiana State University. Congratulations, LSU.
Say hello to your new friend for life. Give Mr. Heisman a lift here.
Thank you.
Sadiq, Adrian, Ed, Lloyd, D-Lou, Austin, Badara, Thad, our tight end with the chips for guys like Chase. Those guys have been unbelievable this year, and I couldn't have done it without them. I got so many weapons on the outside: Terrace, Jamar, Justin. I mean, those guys have been unbelievable.
A very emotional Joe Burrow last night in New York City after becoming the second LSU player and the first in 60 years since Billy Cannon in 1959 to win the Heisman Trophy. Matt Charbonneau, we are among the voters, part of Michigan's delegation. Was this as an easy a vote as you have had? And can you give us our your 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was probably the easiest one I've had. Joe Burrow was the clear winner to this one and me. So, after that, 2 through 6 or 7, I think there's a lot of guys that you could have had in there and probably could have been in New York. But I went with Justin Fields. I had second out of Ohio State, and Chase Young third. You know, we contemplated J.K. Dobbins,
Big
Jonathan Taylor. Oh, clearly. But look, that's kind of how it is, right? I mean, those are the games we see more.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't watched every other game of every other conference, but I mean, Jonathan Taylor's a guy who probably deserved to be in. I mean, look at his numbers.
Yeah.
Most years you have those numbers, you're saying that guy's winning the Heisman. So I mean, there was a lot of guys I think they're deserving, but to me, Joe Burrow was the clear number one, and then a lot of guys really close there.
Stephen Brooks, love to be able to get you and Darian on the voting list. There is a long queue right now.
You say that, but I think you can do that, actually.
Yeah,
Just
get enough
saying,
people to
folks.
move out of the area and change some jobs. Maybe we could do that. How did Joe Burrow go from a third-string quarterback in Columbus a couple years ago to average quarterback in the SEC, one who was a borderline pro prospect, and now he's the most proficient passer in Southeastern Conference history and the probable number 1 NFL pick?
Yeah, so how did it happen? Ed Orgeron sent over an Uber to the Saints facility with a blank check, got Joe Burrow over at Joe Brady, I should say, yeah, to help Joe Burrow over at LSU. And in his offense, it's just kind of connect the dots. I mean, he's going to set it up for you. And with the talent that they have at receiver combined with Brady's offense, it was all a perfect mixture for somebody who was competent, maybe not elite, but anybody who was competent to step in there and just sort of knock them down as they appear. So I think any of us, honestly, could hit a 55-60% rate in that offense.
Wow.
If you had a ballot, who would have been your second and third picks?
I would have went Hurts too. I like what he did, adding all that on the ground, as many yards he had. I would have went Fields 3, 40 touchdowns and 1 interception.
Yeah.
It's insane to me. That's just blows my mind.
How I
1 interception.
wound up voting. Darian, what about you? Could you get a linebacker in there?
Maybe. I mean, I like Kenneth Murray at Oklahoma. I'm not sure if he did enough to end up in the Heisman voting, but I would have gone Chase Young 2, and I think I might have gone Jonathan Taylor 3. I mean, I agree with Matt. I mean, his numbers. He's got 6,000 yards in 3 years. That's just ridiculous to think that he's never been to New York. I mean, never even had a shot at winning a Heisman. That just is mind-boggling.
He actually was in New York because they played in the Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah, so that's it.
That's as close as he gets.
It's crazy.
Right? Yeah. When you look at the Heisman Trophy winners over the last 20 years, and it's a list with small type there, but when you look at that, other than Reggie Bush, who had his trophy voided, and then the 2 running backs that didn't do much against Michigan State in postseason, Mark Ingram. Michigan State did a great job of holding him back, but couldn't stop anybody else. And Derrick Henry, kind of a similar script. How does this award go from being basically a stiff-arming running back to now it's like the Johnny Unitas Award or Davey O'Brien Award?
It is kind of funny that you mentioned that, like that pose is like a running back, but he always goes to quarterbacks. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, it's the same thing in the NFL with why a quarterback is pretty much primarily going to win MVP. I think there's maybe a little bit more parity there, but not much. You know, when's the last defensive player to win MVP in the NFL? I mean, Aaron Donald had a shot at it and probably should have been, but gets really no consideration. Lamar Jackson's going to run away with it this year. Pat Mahomes was easy last year. Kind of the same thing this year. It's just quarterback's the most important position to me in all of sports. Because of that, it's going to get rewarded with probably the most individual awards. And at the end of the day, unless a defensive player has just this ridiculous year or does the Charles Woodson route of playing both sides, probably not going to see a defensive player win the Heisman for a long time.
Does the fact that Ohio State had the number 3 and 4 finishers, number 2 and 3 in the Charbonneau Bowl, does that mean that they should be favored over Clemson?
I don't know if that means it should, but I think 22 players means they should be favored over Clemson.
We'll be right back. Our Law of the Jungle segment. We'll talk Detroit Lions and pro football. Not necessarily the same.
Greasy pizza boxes.
Glass bottles not emptied.
Yogurt containers with... Ew!
Michigan needs to recycle better, and that change starts with you. Learn the rules of recycling at recyclingraccoons.org.
With Chevy, Buick, and GMC all on one lot, we have a great new vehicle for everyone at Team 1 in Charlotte. And now we have special year-end deals for everyone. We have Sign and Drive, where your first payment is literally just your signature for everyone. We have Lease Pull Ahead for everyone. And we have the GM Employee Discount, where you pay what we pay on a new car for everyone. And as a special holiday bonus, get up to 25% more off select vehicles. Only at Team 1 in Charlotte. Team1Charlotte.com.
Greasy pizza boxes.
Glass bottles not emptied.
Yogurt containers with... Ew!
Michigan needs to recycle better, and that change starts with you. Learn the rules of recycling at recyclingraccoons.org.
Watch Fox 47 News at 6:30 on Tuesday to find out this week's winner.
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
The Ticket Machine is your local connection to concert, theater, and sporting event tickets nationwide. Our entertainment experts are ready to help you create a memorable experience, trusted by fans for more than 20 years. Whether you're looking for tickets for your corporate outing, family excursion, or vacation, we offer the best seats and the best prices. Grab a front row seat now on theticketmachine.com.
Woody's Oasis, your healthy alternative to fast food. Woody's has the best Mediterranean food in town. Stop and see Chuck and Delita. They'll make you feel like family. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff is always willing to help.
Hi, how are you doing today? Do you want to do the homemade bread with it, or did you want to do the thin bread as a side?
They'll be sure to put a smile on your face. And as lifelong supporters of MSU athletics, you never know who might stop by. Eat Woody's and live longer.
Coulda, shoulda, Woody's.
Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, right next to campus. Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Law of the Jungle segment, brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. I'm talking about chicken shawarma with baked breast meat and hummus made fresh in a 3-day process. That's why I'm there every week. Stop and see Chuck Delita and their terrific staff on Trowbridge, or find Woody's favorites at Tom's Foods, Horrocks, and all across MSU's campus.
I think for us, obviously, slow start, not really what we want to do against an explosive team like this. Obviously, it's detrimental. They can score extremely fast. They're, very aggressive defense. They have good players on, both sides of the ball, so you got to do a better job to start the game. We had to make some major adjustments there, I think, to some of the things that we were doing. I thought once the game settled down, I think our guys, went out and fought really hard to try to get things right. We got some adjustments at halftime that we needed, and kind of went out there and, tried to improve on what we were doing, and then obviously didn't finish in the end. I thought we were in a good place at the end. We were coming back, and then, a couple turnovers and things like that kind of hurt us, and then obviously, the touchdown at the end.
That's Detroit Lions coach, for the time being, Matt Patricia. After a loss to the Tampa Bay Bucks, Stephen, the Lions had 56 yards of total offense in the first half, 191 in the third quarter, and then pick six, and they turned back into the Lions. What did you see today?
You just go to the folder of Lions scripts. So they either start off amazing and break your heart at the 2-minute warning, or they just get housed right off the bat, give you enough hope to keep you interested and come back a little bit, and then just fall on their face at the end. So this was that one today. They're just getting routed. They sort of make things interesting. You know they're probably not going to win. Of course they don't win. I saw this coming, so I flipped to Star Wars and started watching that with Episode 9 coming. That was much more important.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Do you think most of the fans who were there at Ford Field and ones who spend their Sundays watching on television would rather have seen a Lions win or a loss and a better shot at a top 6 pick, maybe Iowa's A.J. Epinesa?
If you're there, you want to see a win because you're a lunatic if you're there supporting this team, I think, right now. If you're, if you're thinking with your head, not your heart, you've got to want them to lose out and see, again, like we talked about with the Pistons, see what you can get with a high draft pick, bring a healthy Matt Stafford back, go from there.
Darian, 3-10-1, the Lions now, and they don't win, but they don't quit. They seem like they keep playing. And why is it, from an athlete's perspective, the idea of tanking is so abhorrent, and fans can't understand that, but athletes probably can't understand the fans either.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially in the case of the NFL, you never want to put anything bad on tape because you only have so long to play in the NFL. I mean, it stands for not for long for a reason. Speaking from experience, you have one injury or one bad game and you might be done. That might be your career. And this is how you feed your family. You can't go out there and just put bad things on the film. At that point, it doesn't even become about wins and losses and things like that. It becomes the business standpoint of it. And as a man that has to feed your family, you want to have a job next year.
Play for the name on the back of the jersey.
Yeah,
right?
and then that's just going to happen. That's professional sports in general. And I think that at the end of the day, you're always playing for next year and you're always auditioning for the other 31 teams in the league.
Matt, taking a look at today's scores, this week's scores, what stood out to you? Who did really well?
Well, I mean, the Vikings kind of keep rolling. The Cowboys get a big win to kind of stay. Unless that changed on me. I got to check the scores here.
Cowboys,
no, they got,
they won.
You
How about Atlanta beating the 49ers?
Yeah.
Where's Rico Beard when I need him?
Right, yeah.
Such a big Niners fan.
Yeah, and I look at the Vikings too. I mean, they're not going to win the division probably, but that's a team that's rolling pretty well, I think, into the. They're a team to pay attention to.
Well, that's my team. I think they're going to win at least one playoff game, starting as a wild card.
And we know the quarterback a little bit, right?
We'll be back in just a minute, and we're going to have our Cool and Smooth segment. All of our weekly awards, Team of the Week, Game of the Week, Play of the Week, Player of the Week, coming up next.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
It's the Graf Christmas clearance and the savings couldn't be better.
And we want to put a new Chevrolet in everyone's driveway.
And we'll give you a minimum of $3,000 for your trade.
Let's give them a shiny new one, Santa Chris.
Okay, look out below!
Drive a new Blazer for just $199 per month or get into a 2020 Trax for only $78 a month.
There's never been a better time to save than during the Graf Christmas clearance.
Going on now at a Graf dealership near you.
Merry Christmas!
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailways Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Watch Don't Waste Your Money tomorrow on Fox 47 News at 10.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for a cool and smooth segment brought to you by the 5 Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious butter burgers and premium frozen custard. That's Culver's. Welcome to delicious.
Watch it again. Fired up, and he swings. And a blow to Lewis Garrison, the under-the-basket official.
Might be the first time I've ever seen an official go into concussion protocol. Right?
Seriously.
That wasn't a small dude hitting him either.
No.
Jeez.
Kofi Coburn really big, and Lewis Garrison can testify to that.
Clean strike right there.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was tough.
All right, Team 325, who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion this week? Darian Harris, how about our play of the week?
Play of the week actually was pretty easy for me. It was one of those, you can't write the script any better than that. Newton High School won the Connecticut State title on a game-winning touchdown pass. They actually beat Darien, Connecticut, which is pretty ironic, on the 7-year anniversary of Sandy Hook. And what's even more crazy or spiritual about that, however you want to look at it, is 7 years ago, a lot of these kids were probably in elementary school. Some of them may have even been Sandy Hook. Not really sure, haven't done the research on that, but for that to happen in that city on that day is just divine intervention sometimes kicks in sports. So pretty beautiful to see.
That was great to see. Matt Charbonneau, what about our game of the week?
This wouldn't be classified as a traditional game, but in golf, yes, Brooks, golf. It's a team event, the President's Cup. The U.S. team trailing, entering singles on Sunday, 10-8, and Tiger Woods, the playing captain, puts himself out first, gets things rolling, and that team comes from behind and wins 16-14. They were down like 4 or 5 points early on either Thursday or Friday. So not your traditional game, but a pretty impressive win. And if you saw Tiger Woods afterwards, the emotion he was showing, you know how much that meant to him, a guy who's won everything. So this was a big deal for him and a big comeback.
President's Cup, Donald Trump didn't fly there after the Army-Navy game?
No, he did not, no.
All right. What about our team of the week? Stephen Brooks, who do you have?
Me and Darian should have compared notes, I guess, but it's Newtown High School in Connecticut. How can it not be? They're Class LL state champions in Connecticut. Like Darian said, 7 years to the day after the tragic mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newtown. You think about those kids and how they've had to grow up, and it's just terrible. It's sad every time you think about it, but to see this happen, especially on the anniversary and everything, hats off to those kids and congrats to that community.
And what a way to win it, too, right?
Yeah.
Last play of the
like
game.
That. And the mist there, you could barely see it. I don't know if it's fate or karma or what it is, but there's something going on. All right, for our player of the week, no, it's not Scott Boras. However, he did sign 3 players, Anthony Rendon, Garrett Cole, Steven Strasburg, for a mere $878 million. That's 122 mil short of $1 billion with a B.
40 million in commission.
Yeah, what's his take on that?
About 40 mil.
40, not bad. It's not going to be him, but it is going to be Navy quarterback Malcolm Perry. Don't know how much you got to see of the Army-Navy game. Navy snapped a 3-year losing streak. 31-7 win over an Army team, which once upon a time was thought to be good. They wound up with 8 losses, including an overtime defeat in Ann Arbor. But Perry, he's 5'9", quarterback. Kind of reminds me of a high school playoff game I saw where a guy came off the bench. 304 rushing yards. 304 as a quarterback. Carried the ball 29 times, 10.5 yards per carry, and had the most rushing yards in this series in 120 years. Also had 1,800 yards for the year as a quarterback.
Not bad.
Tremendous stuff. Malcolm Perry, you're our player of the week. Want to thank our panel from Team 325, Stephen Brooks, 24/7 Sports Spartan Tailgate premium site. Check it out, especially if you love recruiting. Darian Harris, NBA savant and 5-year MSU linebacker, co-captain, 2015 champions. And Matt Charbonneau, covering Michigan State football and basketball. Busy month for him. We'll see you next week, everyone. Have a great week.